Oh my god, hello everyone. A few technical problems, or not problems, I will try to connect Andrea as well. So bear with us for a second. This is the first time we're doing this live. Give me a second and should work. Right. Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Fabulous. One of us will have to put the volume down if that's okay. Okay, brilliant. Oh no, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, yeah, brilliant. She's muted it. She knows we're only get you. Okay, hello everyone. Um, Hi. I don't even know where should we look, Andrea? Tell me where should we look? Oh, it's so confusing to see so many people here. I'm going to just press record on this as well because we're multitasking, everyone. We're trying to multitask here. So again, hi everyone on Insta Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hello. So
Good to see you.
we've been talking about this for the past 2 months, haven't we, Andrea? And I can't believe it's actually here. To be honest, not that I can't believe it. It's just how on earth did time pass so quickly?
I know it was.
I mean, wow.
It was Christmas just 2 days ago. So
right.
What happened?
Right, and it's mid of July. Not even like we're going towards end of July.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's just like,
Really?
let's not think about it too much, right? But I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad you're here, and I'm super happy that we managed to do this live.
Yes.
Because the last time we spoke, and I think if any of our followers have listened to our latest podcast episode with Andrea here, we've recorded that back in the end of 2020. Basically, it was end of December 2020,
Yes.
and we've and ever since, my god, 2.5 years have passed quite quickly. I think that's also because there was a pandemic in between, and we don't really consider those 2 years as part of our lives, but hey. And in 2.5 years, many things have happened as well. And I'm thrilled to be able to dive into this a bit more with you live rather than over a Zoom call and recorded and then edited and all that jazz, you know. So, yeah. Right. Where shall we start?
Well, at the beginning.
At the beginning. What's the beginning? Oh my god. Bloody hell, girl. That's a challenge. What's the beginning? Okay. Well, we started like we've recorded our first episode, our first interview. It was your first interview back then as well, as far as I'm concerned.
Ever. Very nervous.
Yeah, but you did a fab job. Well, let's start from there and see because we were saying that we will want to work together at that point, and yeah, have we worked together since?
No, who are you?
Oh.
Why are you here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I invited the wrong person on live. I am Beatrice. Okay. What jokes? No, actually, no. Let's keep the jokes because I love the jokes. But no, I think like our first major collaboration. What was it? It was Sideshow, right?
Yes. Sideshow. That was at end of
2021.
2021.
In November.
So it's been a while.
God, yeah, even that, like, it comes up to 2 years now. So if Carl is watching, hello, Carl. Carl is the director of Sideshow. And
Hi, Carl.
And we worked with him on this beautiful short horror movie, which has made its rounds around the world. We've been nominated for a few festivals with it, and we've submitted to a few more festivals this year. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Actually, they should announce anytime soon what's happening or what's not happening with them, so let's hope for the best. But yeah, let's talk about Sideshow, because I think that was sort of the landmark or the first sort of like stepping stone, professionally speaking, in the world of cinema for both of us, more or less, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I worked at a few projects before that, but I can consider that as a first proper one that got finished and published. Well, kind of published, submitted to festivals and stuff like that. Yeah, that was the first.
Shall we talk about that? And how did you find it as a cinematographer working on that?
It was quite interesting.
Oh wow, quite interesting. And if we have any British people listening, well, interesting is one of those words that you never know how to take it, to be honest.
No, it was a good interesting.
Okay, good.
So it was a good interesting. It was challenging at times because, well, sometimes the conditions weren't ideal, so we had to get creative.
Yeah.
But we definitely learned a lot and did an awesome job.
Oh, definitely. What would you consider that was the most challenging part with that project?
What was the most challenging?
Yeah,
part?
in your humble opinion.
Only from my side?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can go into the other side as well. I'm curious to hear how many other challenging parts you have.
Well, in my work, light is always challenging.
Girl, preach.
So that's the main, my best friend. Let's call it that.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So we did control the light pretty okay, but it wasn't exactly how I envisioned it. So I had to adapt on the go and be okay with how it was changing. The vision in my head.
Right. So you had to sort of think on your feet, basically.
Yeah, I had to just go with the flow and improvise and make it.
But don't you find that sometimes those moments are actually the best moments to learn more and to sort of really put into practice the things that you probably know on a theoretical level, say, but you never get the chance in a controlled environment to express them or to really put them into practice as you would do when you're challenged with nature and a very small team. Just background info, when we were filming Sideshow, obviously there were still COVID restrictions, so from a production point of view we tried very much to still keep it within the the 6 people on set, because at any time obviously the government could have said sorry, but you are not allowed to work with more than 6 people in that bubble. So yeah, that meant that we had to really, each one of us, regardless of the main roles that we had during that production, we had to then jump and do other stuff as well. So obviously Andreea had to jump and do a lot of other things alongside thinking about the practicalities of it and the technical side of shooting in a massive gazebo. Yeah.
No, definitely in those moments where you have to improvise on the spot, it's probably the best way to test everything that you've learned previously. And you get sort of a new angle. So it's like a live research in a way.
Right. Oh, wow.
Because you will know next time, oh, I remember that worked, that didn't work, that looked not great, but this was amazing. So... Yeah. I mean, I think to be honest, for all things considered, I think we've done a real good job. And I honestly don't think that some of the nominations that we got for some of the festivals, I don't think they would have nominated us if it wouldn't have been good work. And I think also the era in itself, because it was based in Victorian England, right, has helped us a lot with that, and being a bit more rough at times, that definitely enhanced the essence of the show in itself. So what were the other aspects that you were talking about as being challenging? Oh, I was thinking about the weather.
Oh, the weather. Oh, yeah.
The weather was...
Oh my God, yeah, because we were...
Not our friend.
Yeah, we were in the gazebo, so everything you could hear, literally, it was very windy. It was filmed up north in Sunderland, God.
So basically the whole set was shaking left and right. And
exactly. Yeah.
There was also a lot of rain.
Yeah, and you can literally hear
outside
everything.
and inside.
Yeah. Oh God. And we had to make sure that we don't get any props soaked, and we didn't get soaked and stuff like that. But it was Yeah, I think that the most challenging part for me was literally to sort of jump from the being a producer and then jumping in as an actor, you know. And it was also that time where it was the end of the 2021. I just came back from Hungary because I was there for a year working as a cultural manager, and it was a very challenging year on so many aspects. So I was like literally I was back in the country in the UK for 8 weeks, no, for literally 2 weeks. So I had to make sure that everything was in line with the timeline, but also then sort of incorporate Eliza, so the character I was playing, somehow, or learn who she is and how she is and what Carl wanted as well, etc., etc. You know, so it was really tough for me to swap, because I was, you know, the thing is, like, people say, oh, like, you're only as good as your last job. Bullshit. Sorry, but I don't believe that. I think, like, there are days and days, you know, and you can't, you know, you sometimes can't control it's impossible. You can't really control everything in your life. And some days you have, you know, you're in the flow, you can do all of it. And some days, because you're maybe too tired or something's happened, you just can't focus, you know. So I did definitely had very close moments where I could just say, that's it, guys, I can't, you know. I don't know what kept me going. I think it was adrenaline. I think it was adrenaline, but also the fact that, as we were saying at the beginning, it was the first time I was on a professional set, sort of like, and behind, like in front of the camera, and I found that experience sort of like Carl was saying, that once you get the bug, you can't do without it, you know. And at that point, I couldn't really see it that much because obviously I had so many things happening in my mind. But after that, like in hindsight, he's right. Like, once you're bitten by that bug in inverted commas, you can't, like, your mind automatically starts thinking about, okay, what other things can I do, or what other projects can I do, etc., etc., you know. And it's the same, like, and I understand that because it's the same with theater, you know. Like, I've been bitten by the theater bug when I was 16, and it never left me. It's like never left me. And obviously that's my choice of my career at the moment, so, you know, it's that. Sideshow.
Some bugs don't leave.
Some bugs don't leave. The truth has been spoken by Andreea. Oh my God, girl. Deep.
I just summed up what you said.
Absolutely, yeah. You could have actually said, Beatrice, just shut up and let me just sum it up in one sentence. Thank you so much, girl.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
Brilliant. Yeah. And so. But we had other collaborations before that, haven't we? Like, or is that after? I can't really remember now. Give me a timeline here. So.
Well, we worked before, but not in this field.
Yes.
Because we worked back in Cluj.
Oh my God!
Together.
Yes. Yes.
We had projects through Gutenberg and through the organization.
Yeah.
But we didn't do anything in this field,
in
like
this setting,
in film.
Oh my God, that's like Gutenberg. That's like 10 years ago, 11 years.
It's more than 10
Oh my God,
years
shut
ago.
up! No way. Please don't. Let's just rest that. Yeah, but that was great though, because again, this is something that we said in our previous conversation as well. Who would have thought, like 12 years ago? 12? Yes, 12 years ago.
Back to counting?
Yes, sorry. 12 years ago. Who would have thought that we would be here sitting in front, like on an Insta Live, talking about the fact that we've worked together on a short film, and we've worked on a photo series as well too, actually, and we are here now because of this, but the actual reason for me being in Berlin is because this weekend we're working on another project together, which is very exciting. It's a photo shoot with
which is gonna be pretty awesome.
Yes, I can't examine. I'm very excited about that. So obviously follow please our socials, because you'll see the results there, and I hope that the end product will somehow be celebrated in a more decadent way as well. because I do like a decadent party, I must say.
Oh yeah, that's gonna follow up after the shooting.
Yes, exactly.
So.
Can we reveal though what it is?
Hmm?
Can we reveal what it is though?
Well, let's just say it's gonna be very summery.
Okay.
And
Very tight.
Very excited.
And very,
exciting, not also exciting.
I mean, I am excited. You are excited. It's going to be very exciting, and there are 2 photo shoots. So
yes, I was just about to say there are actually 2 projects. One only with you, and another one on Saturday with 2 other models. Because you're not only an actress, you're also a model now.
Oh my God, yes. Indeed, I am. I can't, sometimes I just lose count of so many things that I do.
Oh
right?
no.
The modesty and the spotlight. But, that's the best life though. And I think this is the beauty of life. One of the reasons we wanted to go live is because we wanted to talk about our personal development as well in the past 2 years. Because it's fairly easy for me to say now without really doubting it anymore that I do this, I do that, I'm an actor, I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm a model, I am an entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur as well. So there's so many aspects to what I am doing, and say maybe 2 years ago I would have felt so uncomfortable to say this out loud, or even just say it to myself that I'm all of that, because I don't know, you're sort of brought up, especially our generation at least. I don't know the younger generations, but we are brought up thinking that you have to sort of qualify for one thing and one thing only, and just keep to that. Whereas what happens if you have multiple interests, and interests that you actually want to explore more in a more professional way, and not leave it just as a hobby. And of course you can do that, but then sometimes that imposter syndrome comes up, and it's a very challenging and a very difficult mindset to shift.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think what's the beauty about our conversation, following on to this now, in our conversation, what would be really beautiful to explore and to unravel is the fact that we are more or less now on the other side. Of course, there are still loops to go through, and there's always room for improvement and always room for healing. And to be honest, it's not like it's happening overnight. It's going to be, once you embark on this journey, it's a lifelong journey, regardless, because life is going to throw at you so many things that you will have to sort of process regardless, whether you like it or not. But I think we're at the point now where we are learning the tools to then implement those throughout our lives, So shall we talk a bit about that? So how did we even get there? So how did we realize that there's more to life than our 9-to-5 jobs?
Well, I think that's one of the bugs that doesn't leave. That's once implemented. Yeah. Once you open that door, it's hard to go back.
But something triggered it though. Was it because I think, if I remember correctly, and please do correct me if I'm wrong, our awakening, let's use those woo-woo words, shall we? The awakening, our personal awakening, sort of started in a very synchronistic way around the same time, last March, March.
Well, kind of.
So last March is in 2022.
I feel that the seeds were planted a longer time ago.
Oh yeah.
I feel that last March it kind of started to bloom. Well, to grow, to expand. Because somehow, just by leaving home and leaving your country, it's already a different journey. It's already a developing journey, because you have to become this type of person in order to be able to do something in another country, in another culture, in another environment. So I think last March it only became more a conscious choice.
Yeah, so you're saying that it was already a subconscious choice but I also think that a lot of events in our personal lives, like individual personal lives, have sort of triggered it then in last March. For me, at least, I've always been sort of a spiritual person, you know, from the onset. You know, I grew up in a more of a religious family, and it's sort of ingrained into you. I don't know about yourself, but it was definitely ingrained in me. I don't regret it. If anything, I'm appreciating it more, because once that sort of this conscious realization of there's more to our lives than there is, paired with what I grew up with, you know, the openness to spirituality, openness to the fact that there can be something more out there than just a confined society, like a confined idea of what life is, you know. And therefore I was really, you know, I was at that point in March, for me at least, I was saying earlier, I came back from Hungary. It was really challenging on a personal level. I really found it a tough year, and I found myself in the summer before that. So before we shot Sideshow, I find myself at a crossroad. I was like, okay, Beatrice, like if you really want to do something with your life, and you just need to grab the bull by its horns, you know, and you need to just take courage, like show courage and go for it.
I think the word that you're looking for is to take the responsibility for it.
Oh my God. Whoa, mic drop, girl, boom. Yes. Yeah. But conscious responsibility, because, you know, I don't know about you, but I've gone through life without necessarily, I would understand cognitively what that responsibility means, but I couldn't really feel it with my whole body, like my entire body, and that includes everything, like with my soul, with my psyche, with my mind, like everything, you know. And it's literally when I was at those crossroads, and I just simply knew, like, you know, my gut feeling, and again, I cannot stress how much and how important the gut feeling is, and just going with it, you know, and trusting it, because it's the your compass, like you know, your North Star to a certain extent, you know, not to a certain extent, completely, you know. So for me, it was literally that crossroad. It was like, you know, you have a choice. You can either come back to the UK, take a bit of a break to recover emotionally speaking, and then try for another job, or you can just go for it and do what you always wanted to do. Be your own boss first and foremost. Not try out, but really embracing the fact that you are an actor and you want to do this profession, but you also want to do directing, and you also want to do producing, and you also you want to do all of it, and just go for it and see where it takes you, because it will always open doors, you know, and you don't have to be exclusively this or exclusively that. So trust me, Andrea, it was a very tough choice to take for me. Like, I was scared. I was so scared. I was like, you know, and I was on edge, like those 3 months, because I said to myself, give yourself 3 months for a break. But I was on edge, you know. I was like, oh my God, the 3 months are, you know, sort of coming to an end. What do I do then, etc., etc. So my mind was starting to go like million miles per hour. Like, I was really, it was tough. And I think the saving grace was when one of our mutual friends, Christina Zelenak, she sent me like a course on money shifting mindset, like, and the idea of money and how to work with money and what is money at all, you know, and what we attribute to the word money, basically, you know. And that was when I sort of then started opening up to a bit more, like, just relax into it, let it flow, let your life flow, and not go against the stream, go with it and see how it goes. And it was again another moment where I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, I don't have anything to lose. I mean, it's not like I'm employed, right? You know, and I was putting so much emphasis on this idea of, oh, I'm employed, I'm unemployed, right? You know, no, I was just, you know what, yeah, I am employed by myself, so I'll just go with it and see where it takes me.
No, I think we grew up with this idea, especially in Romania, because being unemployed there getting money from the government or things like that, it's always like, oh my God, no, it's a no-go. Don't, you're very poor, you're the last. No, don't.
At the bottom of the society,
yes,
basically, to not use really naughty words.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the truth is, sometimes it's not that you need to go to the bottom, but sometimes you need that break. And it's okay to accept that support from the outside. I mean, that's why the system is there, to catch you in a way.
Yes.
Even if you don't want to do things according to the rules of society, bullshit, there's still a system that can catch you, so you don't have to fall. And at the end of the day, there's really nothing to lose. Even if you're employed, I feel that the second you really decide to go for whatever it is that you actually want to do, then doors keep opening up.
Right.
But the hardest part is just to fully accept it. To fully accept that you want to do this. And it's okay if you do this and this on the side, but you don't want to do that job or that job. And to simply save your energy for what you want to do. Not waste it in different directions. That's the key moment that starts to facilitate all these changes.
Absolutely. But I think, again, I think it's down to how we were raised or the society we grew up in. I don't know, maybe it's different in other places, but it is also that idea of what is actually fully accepting who you are and fully accepting what you want to do. You know, what does that mean? You know, and that's one of those questions that you don't get like an answer in the books for it. You have to experience for yourself, but you have to be willing to do that. You have to put yourself out there. And as you said, there's not like the system supports, but at the end of the day, and I'm going to introduce new words now, woo-woo words, the universe is going to support you. And that's what 2022 was for me. You know, when I finally decided for myself, like betting on myself is the best return on investment. And I've heard that again and again and again and again. I've been I've been listening to a lot of podcasts over the past 12 months, and every single podcaster says that, you know, the return on investment, if you invest on yourself and if you bet on yourself, is going to be better than any other investment. And it's now, at that point, it was hard for me to understand because I couldn't really grasp it. I couldn't really see it. I wasn't having like a backlog of successful betting on myself experiences, right? So I had to build it up. And I can't say that I have them now either. Like, there are a few here and there, but it's not like, oh, here's an entire scroll of it, right? But what I have now is the mindset shift, which I know that it will carry on like that, like, you know, shifting and shifting and shifting. But at this point, I do, and I can say with my hand on my heart that I know that I have, that I know that what I want is coming towards me, and that there's a tango happening, like I'm going towards it, and what I desire comes towards me. And that's a fact. It's a bit like you breathe air. That's a fact. You can't really say that's not a fact, you know. And it's hard. It's challenging not to really think about, oh yeah, but what if? Oh my God, those two words, what if? You know, that's what can block you a lot. And I sort of decided 2022 that like I will try not to have those what ifs in my vocabulary, or try to literally extirpate or like just taking them out completely from my vocabulary, because there's no what if. It's like, is your gut saying yes? Well, go for it. Do you have to sleep on it? Sleep on it, you know. But you have to be so in sync and in tune with yourself. Again, something that is up until recently, I found out it's not really told by anyone. Like, the majority of the society is sort of like going with whatever the rest is saying, like with the majority. And it's tough, you know, to not go with it and go against the rules, so to say, you know, and find your own flow and realize that each person's flow is unique in itself, and
Sure.
you can't compare it. It's impossible, you know.
No.
Again, because we grew up in this constant, especially with social media as well, you know, like you compare yourself constantly to other people when they might be on a completely different level on their paths, you know.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you can't, you know, because you are unique in itself, I'm unique, you are unique, like you can't, like, what are even the characteristics or the features that you can compare? You know what I mean?
We might not even go in the same directions with the people that we are comparing ourselves to, so there's really nothing to compare. And going back to that what if, I think the only what if that we should accept is what if it works.
Oh my god, girl, yes.
So
what if it works? Yes.
because that's always an option. We always look at what if it doesn't, what if this happens. But there's also the other side of what if it actually works and you get to do whatever you want to do. And going further back to this, because you just kept talking.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I do have a tendency. I'll leave you talk.
You
Go
have
on.
a flow. I didn't want to interrupt your flow.
Thank you.
But going back to this investing in yourself, it was a struggle for me to do that. Like I wasn't used to invest in myself, to allow myself to do something that will help me, because I was used to, oh no, I cannot pay a course that's this much, this many €100. I don't know, when my rent was probably the same amount of euros.
Ouch. Yeah.
So that was a huge step for me to accept that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy this course because I feel that I need it. And it was interesting because this course that you were talking about, it was the first time where I had something, it was a full body yes when I saw it.
Right.
Because I looked at course previously and I was like, I don't know, what is this, should I, shouldn't I? And with this one I was like, it just came out of me somehow.
Amazing.
I couldn't resist doing it. And I think it was the best decision that I took last year, honestly.
Amazing.
So many things have changed, and I have changed in so many ways, and the energy that I have and the way I feel and the way I'm just relaxing into things, even if maybe it's a difficult time or weird stuff is happening. I've learned one thing from those courses: everything is happening for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. So there's a huge difference when you shift this mindset that everything happens for me. I noticed this was my first reaction, because there's some stuff going on in the background now, currently with my work and all of that. My first reaction to all of that was, this is the perfect opportunity for me to learn something. What do I need to learn out of this?
Amazing.
And I didn't freak out about it. I didn't, because a few years ago I probably would have had panic attacks and, oh my god, what will I do? How will I manage? But this time I was like, sure, perfect. I love it. Let's do this and see what happens. And I couldn't have had this attitude without investing in myself.
Yeah.
And all of those courses, all of everything that I did and I'm still doing, it's pure gold.
Yes. Yeah. I can stand witness to that. Oh dear. Just a second, guys. Right. Are we back? Yes, we are back. Yoo-hoo. Hi. Hello, everyone. I stand witness to what you were saying, Andrea, because I have seen and I am constantly seeing that change in you and that development in you and that ease, which you, I mean, not that you weren't at ease, because every time I came to Berlin or you came to see me or we saw each other in Romania, there was always this wonderful playfulness that is happening between us, and it's a beautiful friendship that I really cherish. And I know it's true, and it comes from both sides, But definitely in the last 12 months, and it's not even like it's more than 12 months now, 16 months, 18 months, whatever, there is definitely an ease to how you do stuff and how you approach things and how you carry yourself in some situations. And also what I've noticed and what I really appreciate is that you're opening up a bit more about them. Yeah. You're not bottling it up. You are saying out loud what you need to say out loud, because I think you have realized how much and how important it is not to push it down, because it can have so many other sad consequences if you do that, and I will admit that particular course has helped me a lot in terms of like starting to shift my mindset. I wouldn't say necessarily it was the course that has wowed me. What instead has really wowed me and is pure gold for me are the podcasts from Manifestation Babe, Catherine Zinkina, and Jay Shetty's On Purpose, and Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. So I've been listening to those for months and months and months. I mean, but I have started with Manifestation Babe, and literally, I can't believe in like literally 2 months, I think I swept all those over 200 episodes that she had at that point, because everything that she was saying, and it's so interesting because I could feel it with my entire body. I could feel like I already knew this information. It was already programmed in me from the start, and it was always the case of why did I leave this? Why did I not continue believing in these things? I'm a massive believer. Honestly, I really believe and believed from my childhood that dreams can come true. And as I was growing up, or actually after finishing my BA and coming to the UK, so I don't know, sort of like life happened, and I stopped believing, or I felt I didn't stop. That's a lie. I didn't stop. It's just I started feeling embarrassed for saying out loud that I do believe that this is possible. You are laughing, but I do believe that I will be a millionaire. I am already, like I would say I will be, but now I'm always saying I am, because somewhere down my path, my own personal path, there is another Beatrice that's waiting, like to say, or it's not even waiting. She's saying, "Hi, girl, you are actually going to make it." It's just a matter of time, And just taking that, I feel completely relieved because I know it's happening. And I was listening again to some podcast this past week. It's not about when, it's about every single move that I'm doing now. Like everything that I do now is with I'm doing this because I know this is going to help me get to that point, or I'm doing this because my higher self has already done this and is waiting on the other side, etc., etc. And obviously when you're shifting your mindset to that, or you're shifting your perspective to that, you'll be surprised how other things then start looking in a different way in your life. It's just it's incredible how you out of the suddenly things like money, like you have to pay that much. It's not like you have to pay that much. It's like, yeah, it's fine, it's just a number. And I was never that person. I was so anxious. I mean, I still have to work on it. I'll be completely honest. I'm still very anxious about money at certain times, but not as anxious as I was 2 years ago. Like what 2022 has taught me was to trust the universe, because it supports me throughout. There was never a month where I went without. Like literally, it wasn't, I never hit rock bottom. There was always something coming, like always, out of the blue. Sometimes, when you're trying to manifest some things, especially at the beginning when you don't even know what that means, you're just like, oh, I want it to happen yesterday. But it doesn't work like that. You have to really have to dig deep inside you and see how can you align yourself. What does that alignment mean? Because my alignment is completely different from yours, and yours is different to mine, and it might take a bit longer. And sometimes it is frustrating to see that for some people it just happens like that, and I am like, seriously? But you said something very interesting a few months ago. Last year you said that, you might be just waiting, you might just find yourself that at one point that what's it called? The money tap will just explode, and you'll not know what you can do with it, But it's just, it has definitely shifted. There's a massive shift in the money thing, especially what I'm taking away from all these things is, it's what we attribute to the idea of money. So if you will start your own sort of personal development journey, you will, and especially if you want to do some work around money blocks and stuff like that, money traumas around money, you'll immediately find that many people will say that it's what you attribute to the idea of money. Like, the thing is, the idea of money is just neutral. It's what we attribute to it that makes it a positive experience or a negative experience. You can choose whether or not you want the money to support you, like literally be there and support you, or you can choose I lack money, but I still need you. It's already a conflict of interest there, You're attributing something negative to it, but you still want it. So why would you want something negative in your life, And obviously that's what you will attract. Yeah.
It will not come.
It will not, because you're no, it won't, And again, Catherine Zenkina's one of the latest podcasts, I shared this with you as well. She was talking about masculine and feminine and how money...
Masculine and feminine energy.
Masculine, feminine, yes, sorry, thank you, exactly. And how she now has come to understand that money in the way it works for our lives, especially with this twist to it, that, you attribute the idea of, or the value to money versus others attributing to it, or you taking on what others believe about money, and she said a very interesting thing, which I definitely see now, is that money is a very sort of more or less a masculine energy, because it supports you, because it's there to help you to relax, it's not like it's there to guide you when you want to sort of buy things without feeling guilty, and you'll be like, mate, you know what, I can't, I've done everything on my side, I'm doing my work, I am doing extra stuff, I am, doing my tax returns, God knows, it's but you are already doing your stuff, and what you need at that point, once you finish that, is to just lay back, relax, and let money do its thing. Because if you want to take away that and want to be in control, the masculine energy of you being in control will clash with the masculine energy that the money isn't sort of projecting out there because it's supporting you. So, and that was a big aha moment for me, at least.
Yeah.
Because I like being in control. I'm fiercely independent, I must say. And I like that about me. I've come to accept it. I don't see it as a bad thing anymore, but I sometimes I need to learn to sort of embrace my feminine side, and be able to say that, okay, I want to be supported now, I want to be held, I don't want to break my mind about how am I going to make ends meet. I just decided it is going to happen, full stop, And I must say there have been many shifts after that moment. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and we talked about it, and I think I told you, when I started accepting, because I'm also very, or I used to be, I still am somehow very much in my masculine energy, because I don't like the word fight anymore, but I had to fight through a lot of stuff, and it was very hard. So that masculine energy was what was protecting me. was what was
yes,
keeping me safe. And my feminine, it wasn't, that side didn't even have a voice because there was no space for it to speak. So when I started listening to it and in a way challenging it to come out and to be more present, I noticed a very massive shift in the people around me.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so
give me an example.
I said I will accept help. I want to be helped with whatever. Even at work, if I was supposed to carry something, this is a very plain example, but if I was supposed to carry a box somewhere, there would be somebody who would show up and carry it for me. I didn't have to do it.
Amazing.
Like, it's a very basic thing and basic example. But the second I said I accept this help, somebody showed up and did it for me. I didn't have to do it. And before all of these changes, I wouldn't have accepted this. I would have said, no, I will carry this box until the end of the world because I can. And because I'm proving this. But the thing is, I don't have to prove it. I know I can carry the box if I have to.
Amazing.
But I don't want to carry it.
Yeah.
Let it just show up there for me. Why should I struggle to carry this heavy box when somebody can do it?
Oh my God, girl, yes, you are so right.
And it's the same with money. Because at the end of the day, money is just a tool to help you create what you want to create. So you can even say that if you dare to dream bigger and you want to create bigger things, a bigger amount of money will show up to support you to create all of those things. Because it's all relative.
Yes, yeah, quite relative.
It's very relative money. I've learned this from my job in the previous 2 years. You can say this thing costs 100,000 euros, for example. One person will faint when you say that number. They will literally fall on the floor. Another person will come and say, yeah, sure, here, pennies.
Yeah.
So it's
like trinket. What's it called? Yeah, just like petty cash.
Coins.
Yes, coins. Here you go. Yeah.
So it's all relative, and all of this has to do with the way you look at money. Because if you put it above you and say, "Oh my God, I will never make this much money," and "Oh my God, what should I do?" You will never do it. But if you say, "Yeah, here, I'm gonna make this because I need it for this," that money will show up.
Somehow it will, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like just a conviction of like it will somehow. And also understanding that it can show up like instantly, or it comes when it needs to come at the right time.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a grace in accepting that.
Yeah.
Because when you say I surrender, then you surrender completely. Like you're surrendering to the idea that time is also relative, and time will also have an influence on when it comes. It's great if it comes overnight, brilliant, great manifestation. But I think first and foremost, it's about accepting the fact, the truth that once you said it out loud and you've decided on it energetically, it will show up in your reality. But you have to also accept that it will show up at the time that it needs to show up in your life.
Yeah.
And until it shows up, you just stay in that mood or momentum of gratitude, in a constant gratitude state, and you just give grace and thanks for everything that you have in your life.
Yeah.
It's it's so simple, yet many people find it so difficult.
Yes, because sometimes it doesn't show up when you think it should. So it's hard to accept and to let go of that control that you don't know when it's showing up. You just have to believe it shows up, and it will, but not when you want it. Like I say now, I want $1 million. It will not fall. Well, maybe. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But it will probably not fall through the roof now.
Exactly.
So you need to let it go, and you need to see if it doesn't happen today. Maybe you still need to learn something. Maybe there's another shift that you need to do so it comes your way. Because a lot of things, when they don't happen the way you think they should, you need to improvise, just like on the set.
Yes.
It's again improvising on the go. So even on a bigger scale, it's still the same game. Like, you need to see what happens, and if it doesn't happen the way you imagined it, see what you can do and make the best out of it.
And not lose hope. Because that's the other thing. Because, and that's what many practitioners say, and experts in manifestation, and not only, like also like coaches and therapists, etc. They say that it's just a matter of not losing hope, just believing that that there is a better outcome. And the thing is that, and this is obviously, it sounds very, logical, I'd say, but I will repeat it because it's so true. Like, sometimes the simplest things are the most complex things. And basically, if you can see that others have made it, there's nothing in this world saying that you can't make it as well.
Yeah.
There's not like you can't say, oh no, I won't be able to. Well, you can, because others are already there.
Yeah, and it's proof that you can also do it. It's proof that it's possible.
Exactly. And it's just going back to what I was saying in terms of different paths, differently. You're in a different stage in your life. And I've read the book, well, I still have to finish it though. It is the, Atomic Habits. Again, Catherine Zinkinas has suggested that, but also Amanda Francis and someone else. Law of Attraction changed my life, the lady from there. Yeah, anyhow. And in this book, it's basically saying that if you want to adopt good habits in your life, if you do every day 1% of that, the thing that you want to achieve, it will compound at the end of the day. However you take it, it will compound. And the same happens if you want to get rid of bad habits in your life. The more you take out every day, that compounds to then not doing that habit in your life again. And I found that really interesting, because this is science-backed things, and it's true. And if you take that idea and place it onto the things that you desire in your life, if you carry on hoping every single day that this is going to happen, and you're constantly trying to shift back to, you're shifting back to the energy or the vibration that you need in order to get to that point, it's inevitable. It will get you to that point. It's like, it's physics. You can't just, it's not like you're doing something and it won't amount to anything. It will amount to something when it needs to amount at that point.
But that's the thing. So you don't just sit there hoping.
Oh God, yeah.
You take actions towards that.
Yeah.
Like, you prepare the way for that. Because if you're just sitting on your couch and saying, I'm a millionaire, but you don't do anything, you're literally just on the couch.
Not happening.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen.
You need to do the work.
And it's very interesting, like, again, 2022 has been the biggest teacher of my life in terms of how many things have manifested themselves in my life, I can say that every job that I did, so basically I always said that I want to work and travel. I would like to travel and see the world, but also work whilst I do that. And last year, literally, I've been out of the country so many times with work. I can't even count on one hand anymore. And I was telling you, I was like, this is incredible. This has already manifested. Now I need to be a bit more clear and more focused on how this needs to then develop and see how it goes. because that's what I want. I want the UK to be my home base, but then go and, work on a project here and there, a bit like what we're doing this weekend, right? Or 2-3 months here, 1 month there, and just always be able to come back to the UK, and whether I like it or not, that has actually happened last year, and they popped out of nothing. It wasn't like me trying and that's the other thing, not forcing it, but letting things come to you, putting yourself out there, obviously, but with the things that you feel comfortable doing, not feeling uncomfortable, because obviously if you feel uncomfortable, like attracts like. So the more uncomfortable you feel, the more situations you will attract that will make you more uncomfortable, etc., etc. And you don't want that. So you just put out there things that really make you comfortable, and that's what you will attract. A bit like, the podcast that I'm doing. It would be fantastic, and that is a possibility that this might just blow out of scale at one point, and this is going to be one of my main sources of income, which is superb. But I'm not doing this because, that's what I want to do. I do this because I actually quite like it. I love talking to people, I like sitting down with people, and God knows what will happen out of this, what will come out of this. I don't know. Yeah. But it comes from my gut. It comes from with my entire body, and so far so good. I think it's for a no name podcast for now. I think the stats are really cool.
Well, how no name? Don't you have a name?
Of course I do have a name.
What's the name?
Benedek Productions.
I'm in the podcast.
Oh, 3 minutes to curtain call.
There we go.
3 minutes to curtain call. And it's just. Again, it's just that hope. It's just that hope that I'm staying. And as I was saying at the beginning, like every single thing that you do, every action that you do, just think of it like this is going to bring me closer to my millions,
It's basically a door that you opened.
Yeah.
And it's something that even though maybe you don't realize it now, it will help you in the future in a way.
100%.
And I've experienced this at the end of last year. Basically, I was in Italy for a job where I had to use skills that I learned for. So let me reframe. When I first moved to Berlin, because I didn't have a portfolio, because I didn't have any work to show to work as a photographer, I was doing the most random jobs. So from promoter to waitress to everything that's
possible, everything
that's possible.
Yeah, to pay the rent.
To pay the rent.
Yeah.
So during those promotion jobs, I've learned how to talk to people and to explain to them how you can how products work. The product that I'm promoting, what does it do, what are the benefits. Basically, I was learning how to do some sales, but I hated it. I completely hated it. I'm more of an introvert, so I'm very uncomfortable to walk up on the street to people and talk to them. It makes me cringe so hard because I don't like disturbing people.
Right.
Even though maybe some are very open to talk to you and listen to you and they're interested. I don't know, but I'm so uncomfortable. I literally hated it every time. It's exhausting me so much. But during that period, I've learned how to do it. So last year I was in Milan at a trade show where I was doing exactly that for a different product, like a bigger product, and on a completely different scale.
Right.
Like I wasn't talking to people on the streets about e-cigarettes or whatever I was doing a few years ago. I was literally talking to people like Cartier, the ones doing jewelry and all of that.
Mic drop.
Like, what the...
Yeah,
I
girl.
wouldn't have thought about this like 5 years ago when I was doing those jobs. It would have never crossed my mind that I would get to that kind of level to talk with people like that.
it is definitely something like, you know, in terms of trying to, not trying to, but really trying to stay present and take in everything. I think people don't really know how to do that nowadays, because it's like your mind just is racing on so many levels, 100 miles per hour, and you're distracted on so many levels because of, you know, technology and social media and so on and so forth. And I honestly think mindfulness is one of the biggest tools that one can really incorporate in one's life, because it really teaches you to focus back onto you and stay in the present. And this is a very interesting tool to learn anyway, because in acting and being on stage and directing, etc., it is really important whether you like it or not, you will suddenly feel every limb and every muscle and everything when you're on stage, because you're exposed and you're there for everyone to see.
Stage,
exactly, you know, and that's where you actually, and that's why I personally believe as a performer, it's very important to know how you are in the present in your daily life. And once you're in the present in daily life and you absorb things that are needed for you at that point, that those will stick with you. You know, it's like a bit of a muscle memory. So when I was doing ballet and contemporary dance, I went back to a session last week, and honestly, I could not believe that everything that I learned a few years ago, like muscle memory, just came back. A bit like yourself when you did your promotion, like a promoter work, and now at the end of last year, you managed to do the high conversations with high, you know, leading customers. You know, it's I cannot really express how important it is to learn how to meditate and stay focused in the present, because that is also your best friend in terms of knowing yourself, knowing what to filter through your life. Is this what I need? Is this not what I need? Is this a situation that I need to dwell on, or can I just leave it because it takes up so much energy? But it is tough. It is tough to just sit in the room or in nature or wherever with yourself for even 5 minutes. So anyone who wants to go into it, just like try to ease into it with 1 minute or 2 minutes, and breath work at the end of the day. Like just count your breath for 10 seconds, or no, 10 breaths, you know. And just see how is your attitude changing, how is your entire body changing just doing that. And honestly, it got to the point now, Andreea, where my body is like, can we just please sit in silence a bit, and can we just please, you know, meditate, or can you just please focus, because my mind is racing so quickly. And that has happened to me 2 weeks ago, because I am currently, I'm going to do this massive announcement in 2 weeks, but I am currently, there's going to be a massive shift in my life, start August, and I'm currently trying to sort that out. And there's a lot of stress alongside work, alongside traveling, and alongside many other things, especially emotional stuff as well. And I was just like, literally, I came back from Turkey from a project, and I couldn't let that week, I was so anxious. I've never felt this anxious in the past 2 years as I felt then. But because I knew how to sit down and just take that bloody crystal, bloody crystal, sit down and start meditating, you know, and coming back to grounding myself really helps. To the point where I was like, this is good, Beatrice. This is really something that you absolutely, like, it works. It works for you. Why aren't you doing this more often?
I know.
So I am now definitely doing more of that. I am going to, you know, I am taking my time to go into the nature and just be, like literally just be, not do anything else, just be, you know, not even listening to anything, podcast or music, or just experiencing how my body feels against the elements of nature. And that in itself already relaxes me and grounds me a lot, you know, to the point where I get back and I have more energy than I would have thought I would have. You know, so it's really, I know it's a woo-woo subject matter, but there is so much truth in it, you know. But it's, you know,
but I don't think it's necessarily.
Carry on. woo woo.
woo woo. I don't think it's like that. I think just if you meditate, or even if you don't meditate, if you just sit in silence, or for me, I sometimes take power naps when I'm like that, where my mind is racing and I cannot calm it down. It's like a reset. So even if I take a power nap, or if I meditate, or if anything, just change the environment in a way, it's a reset for my mind. Like I'm immediately recalibrating. And I'm taking myself out of that storm of thoughts.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that actually I'm the one choosing what happens. Even if things from the outside happen, I'm still the one choosing if I allow it or how will I react. Because I'm the one in control of this. And it's not about being a control freak. It's just realizing that you have this power.
God, girl, preach.
It's not about... We come back to things happen for me. They don't happen to me. And you need to accept that and to realize it, to come back in that exact moment where your mind is freaking out and it's starting. When I have those moments, I always see my younger self.
Okay.
My younger self is probably freaking out about something. Or the protective self. I have a lot of selves.
Don't we all? Yeah.
So one part of me is freaking out about something. But if I take this tiny break of whatever it is I'm doing, my adult self, that's actually the one taking decisions and leading, is coming back in power. And it's reassuring all the other parts that it's gonna be fine, we got this.
Yeah.
So I feel that that's what's happening when you meditate, or just sit in silence and see where it leads.
100%.
Yeah.
It's one of the most useful and easiest cost-free tools, to be honest.
Definitely.
Like, but it takes a lot of courage, Andrea, in my opinion, to come face to face with yourself.
With yourselves.
Well,
with all of yourselves.
Yeah, with yourselves. Yes, it is, but it's an act of courage. But it's also an act of love, and it's an act of kindness and an act of grace. It's all of that towards yourself. And I don't want to it will sound cliche, of course, but it is definitely this idea of self-love, but not self-love because I'm so bloody entitled. No, it's
because you deserve it by default. That should be your priority.
And that is the natural state. That should be the natural state.
Yes. And for all of us, it's not just I have the right to do this. All of us can do this.
100%.
And this leads me back to what you said at the beginning, that you've noticed that I'm saying things that I don't want. This is because of this.
Great.
Because I've prioritized myself and my comfort. So if something takes me out, but not in a way that I'm not leaving my comfort zone. No. But if I feel that something is wrong and it's against what I want to do,
no.
I say no.
Yeah.
And I don't accept doing it anymore.
Borders.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that I have learned this year a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that actually it came up subconsciously rather than consciously, and it was made conscious to me when a situation occurred, again with a close family member of mine. Because, the thing is, the moment you start sort of developing and growing, that will become uncomfortable for others.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not that person, inverted commas, that person anymore that you were once for that person, or the way you came across, And the moment you start drawing those lines and say, this is enough, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Not because I don't love you, not because I don't respect you, but because I don't feel I want to do this. It's not 100% yes. It is just I don't know, just you put yourself first, you know, and without feeling shame or guilt. Oh my God, that's one of the most difficult ones, to be honest. Not feeling guilty for not being there for others. But then I have to ask myself, like, of course, it's not a game of who's there more than the other, but it needs to be a two-way street. And when you are giving more and more and more, but you're not receiving, your cup is not filled. You already are depleted from your own energy by giving so much to others, let alone to yourself. How on earth will you be able to help others if you can't help yourself first? So that is why boundaries and borders and lines being drawn is so important.
And also realizing, especially with very close people to you, friends, family, you need to ask yourself, is this my responsibility? Or am I taking the responsibility of the other?
Preach.
Because sometimes the other person is not aware. They don't do any of this.
Yeah.
And it's fine. We don't have to do anything. Anybody can do whatever they want. But you can choose to say, this is not my problem to solve. And I'm fine with not helping you solve it. Maybe you need to learn how to solve this yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that will help you. It will not help you if I help you and solve the problem for you. Then you will not get to the next level. Somehow.
Exactly. Actually, I'm doing you a massive disfavor. God. Yes. I think that's the word. Along those lines. I'm making, like, you know, because I'm taking away what your responsibility is.
Yeah.
I'm putting onto my shoulders something that is not my responsibility, has never been my responsibility, just for what? Because out of my kindness and love, great. It's great that you have that, but you can express those things in other ways.
Yeah.
In ways that are good for you and for the other person as well. In a balanced way. You don't have to always be like, you don't always have to answer the messages, for example. This is a very plain, example, but you don't have to always answer messages immediately, you know? Give yourself time, you know, give yourself the space to think about that, you know? And that is not an act of being nasty to a person. No. It's just an act of, this is how it used to be before social media, and no one had any problem with that.
They were sending letters and were waiting weeks for an answer.
Right. You know, it's just, again, I think finding your own rhythm in this very accelerated world and not feeling guilty for not wanting to be as accelerated as everyone else. And it's on them. It's on them if they get angry or mad or whatever. That's not my problem anymore. I choose, literally, as you said, I choose not to take that onto me. I choose not to want to take any additional, not negative, but challenging energy onto my shoulders just because I am sort of pushed into that situation. But it's a choice, and it takes courage to choose that. It takes courage to acknowledge that. It takes courage to be able to even get to the point to realize how many things you are allowed to do for yourself, you know, without having to justify it or to prove yourself, etc., etc. You know, it's honestly, it's a Pandora box.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff coming out, but there's a lot of great stuff. And also, this with the messages or anything really, sometimes I don't have the energy, like literally, I'm so drained, I cannot even read the message and focus on it. So I'm choosing not to respond to it instead of just sending an answer, like not caring, just saying something.
For the sake of it.
For the sake of saying something.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing to take that space and time to recharge, so I can give you a proper answer that maybe will help you more. And
again, putting that into perspective, maybe that answer needed to come later for you to make sense.
Yeah.
And that's happened so many times.
That happened, yeah. I think we're thinking about the same thing now.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just, it didn't, like, and again, when you get to that point of understanding how this whole thing works, because it takes time, again, when you start this development journey, for yourself, it will take time until things will fall into place and click, etc., etc. But it does definitely make a difference, because you know, when you realize that everything is happening for you at the time that it needs to happen for you, then out of the sudden that pressure of it needs to be done now just lifts. Because you are, and it's such a simple verb to be, but when you are, you are in the moment, and you accept the fact that you are just in the moment, and that's that, no strings attached, that's when honestly the biggest breakthroughs can happen. You know, there's no point wanting to force things through. There's like, you know, I tried that last year. I was like, we probably remember still, when I was like, why is this not coming up in my life, you know, and it taught me a lot of lessons, you know, in terms of like, well, it doesn't, because although I have those resources, I need to be even clearer in terms of like, no, I don't want to use these resources, so something else needs to come up, you know, but trusting it, you know, it's really, it's an art of letting go completely. Letting go, but you know, when you let go, even realizing consciously that when you say I'm letting go, it doesn't come with strings attached, that letting go. It's a complete release, you know, and see how it goes from there.
Because I feel that when you put this pressure of it needs to happen now because I want it now, I need it, it will not happen because you're blocking it. Like you're focusing on this control and this struggle to get that, instead of saying I want that and just flowing further and see when it comes, like opening the door and let it come in without you standing in the door and waiting and doing this with your leg.
Because you never know what else could happen on that journey of waiting.
What if something better happens?
Girl, preach. And that is why we both say that this or something better. You know. And then accepting that. But also having the grace, and I like this word grace, having the grace that when it doesn't and you feel upset, to let those emotions go through you and not blocking them. Because the moment you block your emotions, obviously you will probably create more situations where you will block even more emotions and stuff. Yes, if it doesn't come today, fine, I am sad, feel it, but don't get into the full like self-pity mode. You know, it's just, it's such a juggle though. But that's what I'm saying about being present, like being conscious about your actions, your thoughts, what you say, you know, like, okay, this is how I feel, and if I feel shit today, I'll let myself feel shit today, because maybe that's what my body needs now, right? But also resting assured, again, going back to the idea of hope, that tomorrow or in 2 days that's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone.
Because that's how it works. It always works like that. It's not like you're in a constant state of sadness or a constant state of depression or whatever. You know, you will be always looking for a better future, and that's always the case, you know? So again, why can't we just cling onto that hope and onto that grace of accepting and surrendering throughout our lives and make it a conscious decision, you know, this or better?
I feel that I've been doing this with allowing myself to feel, regardless of what it is that I feel.
Right.
Because I used to not allow myself to feel anything, because I couldn't function. There was so much that I didn't feel for so many years.
You blocked it.
I blocked everything.
Bloody hell, girl. How is it that you're still alive?
I know. I'm a superhero.
Superwoman, girl. Absolutely.
So I blocked a lot of emotions, a lot of times, a lot of years. So I was always afraid to feel something, because the moment I feel, everything else would come and rush and I couldn't handle it.
Oh, right. Okay, like a domino effect.
Like the whole
avalanche.
Cascade.
God.
I don't know the word. Was that the right word? The whole avalanche of feelings will just come out and will crush me.
Burst.
So I wouldn't I would literally hold my breath, like as a yes, I would. I have moments where I still have sometimes, but I'm getting conscious about it and breathing. But I had moments where I wouldn't breathe because I didn't allow myself to feel stuff.
My God.
So I would just stand there tensioned with my whole body.
Wow.
And be, if I let go of this control now, everything will explode. The whole world will go down. So now I've started allowing myself to feel whatever it is. So if today I feel like shit, it's fine. I'm allowing myself to feel like shit, and I'm not pushing myself anymore to be productive on that day.
Good.
I'm just accepting it's just not going to work today. Because even if I'm forcing and I'm pushing, the work that I need to do will not be at its best.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's perfectly fine to not do it.
How do you find that though in relation with your friends or close family members, close friends? When do you find yourself saying these things out loud, or having the courage to say, like, look, I am having a shit day today, can we just not talk about this? Or are you letting them guess work a bit? Because I sometimes find that when I am in a very tense moment or situation and I have like a go at people without even wanting to, it just, I realize after. But by that time, you know, the damage is done, right? Sometimes, you know. Yeah. And I'm trying now consciously to tell people, look, I have a very bad day today, so don't take anything personally or in an offensive way, because, you know, there's me showing some sort of showing respect to the other person, but also warning them that this is how I feel inside, you know. Do you find that you sort of put those things into words, or do you just shut down completely until you pass that phase?
It depends on how intense everything is. Because sometimes I shut down completely and I cannot even pick up the phone and look at the messages. For example, if somebody's sending me a message. But I feel that my friends and my very close friends, they know that if I'm not reacting, they shouldn't probably push, or they trust that I will get back to them. And they trust that it's not about them why I'm not reacting, because all the time, it's about me not feeling, not having energy, or something's up. It's not about them. If somebody sends me a message and I cannot answer, it's not about them. Because if I'm upset with you, you would know about it. I would tell you.
Yeah.
So I feel that the people around me that know me well enough to matter, their opinion to matter, they know already that they don't have to push too much or they know I will get back to them. Yeah. So even if it's not in this second, maybe in an hour, I will gather the energy and respond. Yeah. And I did recently warn somebody. I told him, watch out, I'm in a very bad mood, just get out of my way. Just let me come home, because he was here. Just let me come home, I will go to bed, we don't have to interact at all. And he knows not to push it. He knows to just get out of my way, and it's fine, and I will come back when I have the strength to do it. And he knows it's not about him. So I feel that a lot of people around me know that. Yeah. And if you don't, now you know.
Thankfully, we have such conversations. Yeah. See, I still struggle with it sometimes. I need to find, because I'm oblivious to some, not because I want to be oblivious. I'm just, sometimes I am, you know. I'm so in my mind, and that's why I find that it's very useful for me to let people know that, look, I am in a bad mood, and, you know, it doesn't mean that, I need pity, or, I need help, I need whatever. No, it's about, I just don't take it personally, and when I am ready, I'll come back. So trust the process. Yeah. You know, but I find that I need to learn how to trust the other person as well, that they understand it, and I don't have to overcomplicate the situation, over-explain the situation. That's what I find, and it's quite, tricky sometimes. But, it's a learning curve. And again, things happen for a reason at those times. Interactions with people, situations I go through or we mutually go through, etc., etc. People coming in and out of my life. That's all for me, as it is for them as well. If they are conscious enough to realize that that's also something for them, But first and foremost, it's something for me, to learn out of it or to just enjoy. Sometimes it doesn't even have to have a reason. It's just enjoying the fact that you have met a person, or that you are experiencing something, or that, the birds are just chirping outside, and that's the best feeling that you can have that day. It really recharges you. And sometimes I do say that as my final biggest gratitude for the day. It was like the fact that I went out and I heard the birds singing, because that has grounded me,
What has helped me in this situation with other people and explaining stuff was realizing that not everything is about me.
Yes.
So
Right.
if I send a message and they don't reply, I trust you that you are an adult enough to be able to tell me if it's about me.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with something I've done or anything, I trust you that you come to me and tell me properly. So when I'm sending you a message or whatever and you don't react, I'm sure it's not about me.
Yeah.
Maybe something's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, you're busy, you're working, you're sleeping, you're meditating.
God knows. Yeah, right.
So
God knows what you're doing.
I don't have to worry about people not responding. And it's two-way street. And I feel that, again, with the people that are close to me, and I'm not saying people that I see every day, because I have friends. I have a friend, as an example, we worked together when I was in Bucharest. That was 2015, 2016.
Wow, 7 years ago, 8.
7 years ago, something like that. And after I moved away, we didn't see each other, I think for 5 years or something like that. And she moved to Germany in the meantime. And in November last year or 2 years ago, I don't remember, but I visited her, and she came and picked me up from the station. And we don't talk daily, so it's not like we're sending us messages non-stop, talking. No, we talk maybe once a month. We send a message about something, or a meme, or something very random. But she came and picked me up, and it was like everything flowed in such a way as if we met yesterday,
right?
And we're just catching up about what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing because it was very easy. We didn't have to explain why we don't talk every day. Why don't we?
Yeah.
No, we just started talking, and we started talking not about, the weather is nice, like those cringe small talk shit. No, we started talking about family and what was going on and all of that. It was absolutely amazing. So with these kinds of relationships, I don't feel that I need to give explanations.
Right.
About certain things.
100%.
Like, I trust that you know, and if you need to tell me something, and if I need to tell you something, we will do it.
Yeah.
If it's something important. So there's no reason to be stressed about that.
Again, just letting go.
Yeah, just letting it go.
Yeah. And, again, mustering up courage when you need to have those more challenging conversations, which I am learning because it's hard for me. It's really hard for me. again, so much goes down to how we were raised, or how I was raised, and how your voice matters or not. And, you know, if you know, like, as a child that you were saying the truth, for example, but others say, no, it's not the truth, or you're not saying the truth, and then you are conflicted inside of yourself, and those conflicts don't get resolved, and that it comes further down with you whilst you're on, when you're growing up. Hello, everyone who's waving. I see the waves there. Hi there. But yeah, it's basically when you are, I find it tough, and I'm really angry, and it's something that I'm just solving at this point as we're speaking, because I feel like so many years have passed without me knowing exactly how to be able to express myself in a, you know, coherent way, especially with friends and close family, because I feel like there's a massive knot in my throat. You know, and it's very interesting because in my human design, which I'm a projector, so anyway, it's open, like my throat, it's open, which means that sometimes it says that it's really difficult for you to express how you feel, and how, because you're letting yourself be influenced a lot by your outside circumstances and outside people, and don't know how to distinguish your own voice from the others, you know. So I am working on it. I know that's my shadow, and I need to work on it. But it's so interesting that, you know, again, finding this human design side of things have again fallen into place in so many beautiful ways for me to explore. And again, like every other thing, it's a ongoing life journey. It's not something that you fix like that and that's done and dusted. No, it's something that, fortunately. And I say that with actually, I'm excited about, like, you know, how could a person be excited about the fact that they're, you know, having to work on themselves for their entire lives, you know, but I am, because I don't know how that will impact my life and how it will impact then my future circumstances, but my relationships as well, you know. So I am really excited to see how things will develop.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm pretty sure not even if we do it properly, if we just do it, amazing things will happen. So
because we are trusting the process, Andrea, that's the thing. We got to the point now where it's not like even, should I, shouldn't I? No, we are trusting the process, and it's a fact. Synchronicity here, my God, stop it. Actually, don't stop. Oh my God, this was amazing. This was a fucking fact. Whoa. Sorry, I should have not. Well, like,
I think
it's amazing.
We used enough curse word to just say
whatever we said. Oh God, what a great conversation. I mean, we could carry on and on and on, but I'm conscious of time now, and
how much has passed?
1 hour and a half.
Oh, are you serious?
I know, right?
What?
Yes. And we could carry on and on and on, but I am so glad we had this conversation, because it puts so many things into perspective, and if anything, it just emphasizes that I think we've made the right choice for us, but also for us.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it has definitely consolidated our friendship.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I feel that you're my work partner, like personal development work partner.
Yes. Oh my God,
and
yes.
not even that, because we're also
said.
working on projects together. So
absolutely, but but I feel at ease with sharing things.
Yeah.
About that side of me, you know, and just it's sort of like, you know, it's amazing when you have people that sort of can you hold your accountability. The accountability about these sort of situations is so important, and having you in this journey as part of my journey is so wonderful, and enlightening, and, you know, endearing, and just a ray of sunshine, I would say.
That's me.
Yes, that's you. Yeah, and I'm very, very excited about our future projects, especially because I do want to, you know, shoot a documentary in Romania next year.
Ooh, that's going
to be so interesting.
That's gonna be amazing, and I will have time for it.
Finally! Oh my goodness, are you betting on yourself, Andreea? And I don't know?
Oh, I am.
Girl, all in.
Literally all in.
Cry.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's gonna be amazing.
It is. So shall we see each other again in 2 years' time and see where our journey has taken us? Unless we're already going to be on the red carpets everywhere in the world as a fantastic duo. You know what I mean? Creative duo. Boom.
We're shooting the poster this weekend.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So we are ready.
We are ready. 100% ready.
We are ready.
Okay, well, I think that is it from our side for now. Stay tuned. And this recording, because we are actually recording this, is going to come as a continuation of the 3 Minutes to Curtain Call podcast. Yeah. So last episode was with Andreea from 2 years ago, and this will air in 1 week. Yeah, in 1 week on Friday as the second part of our ongoing collaboration. Yeah. And as I said, in 2 years' time, there'll probably be another one. That is if we won't appear on Variety and Hollywood Reporter before that. Just saying, you know. Preach, girl.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers to that. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
For flying out here.
Always, always.
And sitting in front of my yellow wall.
Yes, where my blonde hair is just merging with this. Anyhow, have a fantastic evening, everyone. Thank you so much for everyone who's joined. It was great to see all the waves, everyone. And yeah, wishing you a great weekend. And follow us on our socials. I think you've seen where we are. Stay tuned with us. Get in touch with us. We always love to hear from people. And yeah, best of luck with your creative journeys and your your self-developing journeys as well. Yeah, lots of love and take care, everyone.
Cum să treacă o oră?